got all these crazy features on this Sucker for Pain song. I cut a bridge. It's literally, I'm like, oh, pain got me begging. That's it. All of a sudden, it's like the biggest song with 7 million artists on it.
Insane.
We met Lizzo very early on in her career. The guys she was dating at the time, they were like in the car and she was like crying and he was like, why are you crying? She was like, I'm crying because I love you. And I was like, oh, that's a song. Like, I'm crying because I love you. She was like, let's write that, please.
Yes. And I didn't woo.
I know.
I know.
You thought I was going to set you up?
I really did, but you saw me seeing me seeing you.
Guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back. This is Counter-Melodies. I'm Jonathan Tilkin. I know.
First and last.
First and last. It's been a while.
As if they don't know.
As if they don't know.
Anthony, hi.
Hi. So we actually taped yesterday. I mean, not that they're going to know that in the world of the podcast, but we were trying to figure out like what's actually new in 24 hours.
I don't think we need to worry about what's new in 24 hours because I have a gift.
You have a gift?
I do have a gift.
Me?
No, I was just saying I have a gift. No, I'm kidding.
I would agree.
I'm very talented.
We all know this. I thought maybe like the gift was for our guest. And I was like, it's a little early for that.
It's a gift for you. And it's actually not from me. It's from my parents who are here, guys. They're in studio. They're off camera. They didn't want to be on camera right now. Applause for my beautiful parents who I love so dearly.
It's a family affair here
This
today.
was actually a Christmas gift from them to the both of us.
Oh, do you know what it is?
I have opened it already. So
great.
So it's just a gift to you now.
Okay.
Okay.
But your presence is always a gift to me.
All right. We already did that.
I know.
Like we covered that.
I know, but I just had to back you up.
Just open it.
All right.
And describe for all 10 audio only listeners what is
Not
happening
true.
in there.
So there is a bag in my hands right now, and there are 2 boxes. Are both boxes for me, or is one for you?
It's all for you, King.
It's all for me. Oh my god.
We're at your house.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm opening a mug. And it says Counter-Melodies and a bunch of fonts all over it. Thank you. Oh, I'm swiveling. Thank you so much. And then there's another box in here that I will also open.
I think that's the same mug.
It's the same mug?
It's the same mug.
Okay, so this is your mug or is this my mug twice?
Whenever you want.
So I have a matching set. I love that. Thank you so much. And then is this also... Nice brown wooden spoon. Thank
Isn't
you.
this great?
Yes, now we can play.
Look at the thing. Look at the bottom of them.
That's so cute. It says Counter-Melodies etched into the wood.
Engraved.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that really special?
Those are so cute. And now we can play games where we have like black team versus wooden team.
Sure.
Sorry, we can have a game where we play the silver and black ones over there versus the wooden ones. 3rd time's the charm. We have those ones and these ones, and we can play a team game. Edit as you see fit, Lewis. Anyway, thank you guys so much. That's really, really kind of you.
I love them.
So meaningful. I want to like swap out my microphone for the date of this, but it's not plugged in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Alrighty, well let's go to the intro.
All right, let's go to the intro.
Let's do
it.
Oh. Known for being the lead singer or frontman, if you will, of X-Ambassadors and an iconic songwriter, we are truly honored to be in the presence of today's guest. From multi-platinum hits like Renegades, Unsteady, and Home to their powerhouse albums, our guest today has been a driving force in shaping the X-Ambassadors sound forever. He also has one of our favorite voices in the world, and I wish we could ask him to sing for the whole episode, but it's a podcast, so I must ask you a question.
Good.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone give it up for Sam.
I mean, technically, I do still have a mustache.
You do. Did you want me to do the 3 names? Do you want to be Sam Nelson Harris?
I try to go by Sam Nelson Harris because there is a podcaster, Sam Harris.
Okay.
Anybody listening, I'm sure you know there's another podcaster out there named Sam Harris. And I recently, like, someone hit me up and was like, we'd love to get you on this comedian's podcast. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'm available. And they hit me back and they were like, I am so sorry. We thought you were Sam Harris, he's like a neuroscientist or like a political scientist. Or
Those are a little different.
Yeah.
I will say.
A scientist.
Yeah, a scientist of some sort.
Of some sort. An author.
Yeah.
How are you at
thinker.
science?
Not good.
Not good.
How are you at politics?
Unfortunately, very engaged.
Yeah.
Very engaged.
You read a lot.
Read a lot.
Yeah.
Read a lot.
We're not going to go too far into that. We're going to leave
great.
that right there.
Listen, I talked about it all morning with my dad. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes,
I was also going to ask you, who's Nelson?
Nelson is my godfather.
I love
Ralph Nelson.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's a chosen part of your name.
Chosen part of my name. Well, I mean, I didn't choose it, but my parents.
Oh, like it is actually in your name.
It is actually.
No, I thought maybe it was like one of those things where like an equity when someone already has your name and you have like, okay, I have to make up a fake middle name.
No, it is truly my middle name. It is truly for a second there, I put a solo record out.
We know.
2 years ago as Sam Nelson, and then I was like, you know what? It's just confusing because there's no Harris there.
Right.
People know me as Sam Harris, and guys, I have really. It is exhausting even just thinking about it.
But I imagine that most people probably just do this. Ex-ambassadors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People do that?
Yeah.
But weren't y'all at one point called just ambassadors?
We were ambassadors for like 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
It's the dumbest thing in the world. This is what happened. We got signed to Interscope in 2013. We're already touring like in a van and had started to kind of make a name for ourselves as ambassadors. I'm doing like all of the kind of branding and graphic design stuff for the band just because nobody else would. And that's like how it goes, right? So we signed this deal with Interscope, and we have a song that's going to be on the soundtrack to this movie called The Host, and everyone's really excited about it. And then we get this call from the head of our label, and he's like, "Hey, you got to change the name. Either you change the name or you pay $50,000 to somebody to like make it your own. But legal is coming in, and so." I'm in the back of the van, like we're on our way to a show. We're in DC, and I'm just like on Photoshop, just typing in random things with the name ambassadors in it so that we can still hang on to like
a piece of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, we ambassadors, ambassadors, like ambassadors of sound, like terrible names. And one of them, I think ex-ambassadors was like a mistake. But it was one of, I swear to God, like 30 different names that I was texting with the head of my label. And with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons too, because they kind of co-signed us early on. And Dan and Alex both were like, ex-ambassadors is cool. Yeah. We like that one. And I was like, great. Okay, cool.
Done. Great.
And then I told the band, and they were like, great, cool. Our guitar player, he was like the one who was a little kind of pouty about it, but
sure,
he got over that.
He was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does it mean Roman numeral 10?
Well, I kind of thought it must have something to do with like a rebrand, and you guys were like, oh no, we're shedding this old label. And it's like, there's got to be like a cool history to it.
I mean, I wish. Yeah. God, I wish. Even the name itself, like Ambassadors, came about because it is so hard naming your band. It is fucking impossible. I can swear, right?
You can now?
I can now. Okay, I just did.
It is $50,000 fine.
Okay,
but
great.
We'll bill you later.
I can pay it now.
Great.
Hey!
That's exciting.
This is a very expensive morning for me. It is so insanely hard, especially when you're like a bunch of kids and your mind is changing every other second about everything. So we're in our rehearsal space, and we have a show like tomorrow, and we have no name.
Is this, by the way, in upstate New York?
No, this is in New York. This is in Brooklyn.
Oh, in Brooklyn.
This is when we had already moved to Brooklyn.
We're going to get on to the upstate thing, though, because we have that in common.
I know. I can't wait. I cannot wait to talk shit about my hometown. I love it so much.
So you're like an ex-ambassador for your hometown.
Yeah.
Thank you. you.
I can't wait to see what other puns we got up our sleeves today.
And
you
we're
guys.
just getting started.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We're punny.
Okay, so there we go. There we go. I'd give that like a 6.
Oh, I didn't even mean for that to be
okay,
one.
but that was pretty good. It was
Okay,
pretty good. It was
thanks,
pretty
King.
good. So we're in our rehearsal space. We have a show the next day. No name. We're just looking at shit around the room. I'm like tripod, paper towel, water bottle, and our drummer is sitting behind his drum kit, and he plays with these drum heads that are Remo coated Ambassador. That's like the brand of like drum skin that you hit. And he's like, "What about Ambassadors?" And we all were like, "Okay, don't hate it." And that's how the name.
That's insane.
Do you like where it's landed at this point?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I think so too.
It's edgy. You know?
It is. I always thought it had like I said, like a deep history, and it's
Yeah. I just wish I was a better liar and could come up with like a new secret history for it every time I was asked about it.
yeah.
But
Wow.
I feel like you're creative enough to do that, though.
I know.
Okay.
You would think.
You just don't have the time.
I just don't.
You're just
Right.
really busy and
I'm
really multi-platinum.
I'm just not that creative.
No, he's saving all his good brain juice for all the co-writes and collabs.
Exactly.
Okay, well, anyway. We love to like run through the origin of people's kind of like story and everything. You've already given us a bunch of it. But I want to talk about, first of all, Upstate New York.
Oh, baby.
Ithaca? Beautiful. I'm from
Ithaca.
Albany.
I know.
Any Upstate New York listeners out there?
Oh my God, you guys.
We're like kind of
We have
neighbors.
to all band together. Sort of like New York State. People don't understand how big New York State is. It's
know.
enormous.
I know.
It takes me just as long. It takes me 4 hours to drive to Albany. It takes me 4 hours to drive to New York City. It takes me 4 hours to drive to Toronto.
Yeah.
You heard I
All
said
of
it?
it.
Toronto.
Toronto.
You know if you think,
Toronto.
You did it right. You see, you're
on,
basically
baby.
Canadian.
I'm basically Canadian.
I know. I've never been. Isn't that
Really?
insane? And I grew up upstate.
I went there more than I went to New York.
Okay.
well, you can drink and gamble at 18.
You win. You win, Sam.
That's the only reason I ever went to Canada was to go see Niagara Falls from the other side. And I said, it'll be worth it because we can drink and gamble, and we're only 20.
And this was just last week, right?
Thank you. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, I'm kind of like from like your neighbor state in the way that we take all of the overflow from New York.
Right.
From
In Florida.
In Florida. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Right.
You do.
We are more alike than we are different.
That is definitely real. Yeah, because all of my like New Yorker family members have now moved to Florida. So that's
Yeah,
real.
listen. The Jewish side of my family worships Florida in every sense.
Yeah. Are they Boca area?
They're all over. They're Fort Lauderdale.
Right, but it's all the southern part of Florida.
Yes. Right. Of course. We need sunshine.
Right, of course. Got to keep that pasty skin
Gotta keep
a
it.
little red, a little tender.
That Eastern European skin.
Yes,
needs to
exactly.
be crispy.
Have you been back upstate recently?
I was just there.
No way.
Yeah,
For
I was just
what?
there. I was hanging out with my mom. We were shooting some stuff with a film crew for the 10-year anniversary of VHS.
Plug it, baby.
Get into
I'm
it.
plugging. So yeah, we put that record out 10 years ago, which is like mind-boggling.
And for anyone that doesn't know, this is the VHS album, right?
Yes.
This is like the centerpiece, I would say, of the band's
the
music.
seminal
Yes, it had Unsteady.
Renegades.
It had give us a little. Thank you.
Gotta
Now you
go
just
off the mic,
that
you
was
know?
so. I
That's
thought
it. That's all you need.
swear, I thought you're gonna be like, I thought you're gonna be like, I'm a little unsteady. And no. You give us a full. Thank you.
No, I gotta give you the full yodel.
And then it
Come
also
on.
had Renegades.
I say hey. That's all you get.
There we go. Yeah. Go stream it if you want to support and you want to hear the rest of it.
Yeah, go stream it. They really need them.
They really do. Well, they are closing in on 1 billion streams on both of the songs, so they
Oh my
do
God.
need the streams
Yeah.
to get to that
Come
mile
on,
mark.
guys.
Yeah.
Help me get that
What are you
heavy
doing?
ass
The Spotify thing.
bowl.
Right.
bowl.
I need the bowl.
Right.
Do you
We got one for
You did?
Sucker for Pain.
Oh, that's on here.
Which is
it's
the
in our
funniest.
outline.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to jump all over the place, but
mean-
we can get to that. That's the silliest collab I think that we've done.
I love the story of how you guys connected with Dan Reynolds to begin with.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's so crazy. So we had to go even further back. Before we signed, we had self-released an EP, and there was one song on it that was a 5-minute long acoustic ballad, like a real outlier on the EP, that I was just like, this is just like me, moaning about my ex-girlfriend for 5 minutes. And it's for me, I don't care if anybody likes it or what. That becomes this song that a lot of people gravitate towards. In particular, this one DJ in Norfolk, Virginia.
Sorry, what?
Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm not swearing. You don't have to bleep that. You don't have to bleep it. Anybody know Newport News? That's a real town. Okay. Newport News, Norfolk, Virginia. It's like about a 2-hour drive from DC. Anyways, they had this like kick-ass alternative rock radio station, and this is 2012. So when radio was still really like important and kind of a game changer. This guy starts playing this random song of ours like every day, and people start calling in and requesting it, and it becomes the number ones. It's like us, the Foo Fighters, Green Day, at the end of the year for this one radio station.
And this is the song Unconsolable?
No. This is a song called Lee Toast. Listen, we're getting into the weeds here.
We are? Okay.
So this song makes it so that we'll play in New York where we're based, and we'll play to like 50 people. And then we go to Norfolk, Virginia and sell out like a 1,400 cap room.
No way.
Yeah. And it just so happened that Dan and the Imagine Dragons guys were down there playing a show. Dan, I think the story goes, he had a cold or something, and they were driving him to the hospital or the doctors. And the guy who's driving him worked for the radio station who was putting on the show. And he asked him, he's like, Dan just kind of was like, hey, what are you listening to? And the guy was like, this band Ambassadors. And he played not that song, but he played a different song for Dan, this live version of a song called Unconsolable. Grammatically incorrect, but listen, who cares?
I did say that to myself.
Well, were you going for like an prefix kind of an idea for a while?
Oh, if we were on that train.
It's kind of like how Sia had every song was just like titanium, chandelier. You're like
Unsteady,
unconsolable.
So we get a random call from, this is also like right after we had gone through the process of when an unsigned artist has a song that gets radio play, it pops up on the media base charts, and any record label starts just like, they immediately see it, and you get calls from everybody. So we met with everybody, and because it was this acoustic kind of driven song, they were all like, so you want to be like Lumineers, Mumford & Sons? And I was like, nah, not really. I love them, but like our sound is just totally different. This is an outlier. And they were all like, cool, good luck. And so we like didn't get signed by any of these labels. We met with everybody. We met with Republic, with Warner. We met with Atlantic. We met with we met with everybody.
Name them and shame them. I like that.
Yeah, no, I listen. They're all fine. They're all great. I was about to make a good people on both sides joke. That is terrible. Oh. Terrible. Oh, wow. Okay. Listen, shake it off. We're shaking it off.
Everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay. Yeah, shake it off because the players are going to play. The haters going to hate.
Okay, great. Anyways, so we didn't get signed by anybody, and then Dan hears our song, and we immediately get a call from Alex the Kid, who was running a label called Kid in a Corner at the time. They signed Imagine Dragons. They were with Interscope, and he was like, I want to meet. Let's meet. And so we meet up, and he's like, you guys are great. Do you want a record deal? Yeah.
Great.
And so that was kind of how that happened. And then we immediately went on tour opening up for the Dragons, and it was just like it was the fucking silliest thing, man. Like when you're an opening artist, this is how at least it was for us. We would show up to these, at the time they were playing like outdoor amphitheaters, right? Big productions. So we'd roll up, and still this happened subsequently when we opened for them when they were doing an arena tour. we'll roll up. They've got like 3 semi trucks and they've got a couple different tour buses. And we roll up in our 15 passenger van and like U-Haul trailer and park between like the, gargantuan trucks. We schlep our gear out onto the stage. We're first of 3, so we're setting everything up. We have no crew. We have a tour manager, and that's it. We set everything up ourselves. We leave stage, like take a drink of water, and then go back out and play for an arena or an amphitheater full of people, and pretend like we're rock stars for 40 minutes, and like bust our asses. And then it's just like, thank you so much. And then we're just like down on our hands and he's like unplugging cables. And I'm helping my blind keyboard brother, keyboard player brother, like guide his stuff off stage. And meanwhile, I've got like a guitar strapped to me and I've got like pedals like between my legs and I'm like hobbling along. Like, Casey, watch out. There's 3 steps down. It was the most chaotic shit. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I'm just surprised you got a 40-minute set.
I know.
That's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Wow.
I'm exaggerating. It was like 30 minutes.
It's still more than 10.
More than 10.
Clearly, Dan from Imagine Dragons has like something for picking up incredible talent
Yeah.
because y'all,
Listen.
and he discovered Benson Boone.
I know.
It's insane.
These Mormons, man. They just
Is
got
Dan
they just
also
got
a
it.
Mormon?
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
There we go. Okay. All right.
They got it on lock.
Well, listen, us Jews run the entire world, so who
They
am
can
I to-
have one little corner, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
How involved was Dan / the band in like finding a sound, or was it not really at all?
Early on, I mean, the great thing about those guys and Dan specifically, that they were already fans. So we just got in the room together. I think the first week that we officially signed, we flew out to LA and we all got in the studio together and made some songs together. He, is a fantastic writer and just it was just like it was actually really my first real experience co-writing with anybody. And it was so fun. And it kind of, I think in a way was what, made me catch the bug of doing that outside of the band, up until the point that I have now. Like I really, I don't know. I think it's also like a product of being in a band too, being a part of a collaborative effort. I love it. I love that shit, man. I love I love working with I also love being surprised and being able to not get so up in my head about stuff, as I think we all know and have experienced at some point. Like we can all be so hypercritical of ourselves, and when I'm writing stuff by myself, I often can land in these patterns where I'm like, I write a sentence, I write the first sentence, and I'm like, it's not good enough. And then I write it again, and I'm like, it's not good enough. And I do that for 4 hours straight, and then I've written nothing.
Yep.
Whereas you're in the room with another person, and like I could write, maybe the second sentence, and someone's like, "Oh, that's sick," and I'm like, "Okay, great,
Yeah.
let's move on. Let's move on."
Right.
It's always nice to have like someone to kind of gut check what you're doing, because they're like, no, actually that was really good, that sentence.
Yeah.
Like keep it.
Yeah. But back to Dan, I mean, he was so encouraging of us early on, and they really like took such a big swing with bringing us into the Interscope fold and introducing us to Alex and taking us out on tour. They're the best.
Yeah.
Well, and I think obviously it's very famous that you and Imagine Dragons collabed on Sucker for Pain, which is on, I think, what people are calling the best movie soundtrack of all time. I'm pretty sure is what people say.
It's an insane soundtrack.
Like, that is insane. That song is such a smash.
You want to know how? Okay, so this is the story.
I need to know.
It's so funny. So this was a song that was kicking around for like a year or two. It was a beat that Alex had made, Alex the Kid, and then he had Dan write something over it. Sorry, I'm gonna burp.
Do it.
Go for it.
Strong.
No, it's okay. Listen to that diaphragmatic breathe.
That was and the eye contact too. That
I caught it. I caught it.
Hey,
Thank you.
there we go.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Okay, so there's this song that Alex makes his beat for. Dan writes his hook, And Alex, I'm in the studio with him every day at this point. And he was like, "You want to try writing verses to this? This is this hook that Dan wrote." And I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Mm-hmm. So I write like 2 verses, and we spend a couple days on it. And Alex, he's like, "Okay, cool." Takes it away. I don't hear anything about it till like a year later, and he hits me up and he's like, I got all these crazy features on this Sucker for Pain song. Remember that hook that Dan wrote? And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was a great hook." He's like, "We need a bridge. Can you write a bridge?" And I was like, "Sure." I'm in like the backstage of a club. I'm in like a bathroom of a venue that we're playing, and I cut a bridge. It's literally, I'm like, "More pain got me begging, more pain." That's it. Send it to Alex, and then all of a sudden, this is like the biggest. It's like the biggest song with 7 million artists on it.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a part of this song at the very end for like 15 seconds. I am a part of the fade out. And this is the one that is like, I've got the billion stream plaque. So I don't know. It's just one of many things I feel like in my life and my career where you're like, okay, you just really never know. You never know. Like what's going to be.
We were like, chemists were like, no, he has to be like doubling like the main vocal down the octave. Nope.
You sing 3 lines.
I sang what? No, it's one lyric repeated 3 times, maybe 2.5 as it fades out.
Did you get to meet Lil Wayne?
No, I didn't meet anybody.
Oh. Did you get to go to the premiere?
Did I go to the premiere? I can't remember.
You're in the music video?
Huh.
I'm in the music video.
Yes, you are.
Which they shot everybody separately for, of course.
Dang it.
So didn't get to meet anybody.
Oh. Well,
I haven't gotten to meet, actually, I think most of the like big name people that I've worked with. Never met Eminem.
Really?
Never met Rihanna.
MGK?
Yes, we spent a lot of time together.
Okay.
That's my guy.
Millennium?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Did meet Millennium.
This is me doing a pop quiz right now for myself. Ellie Douye.
Did we ever meet? No. Ellie Douye. No.
What about Lizzo?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
That's my gal.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
my gal.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Lizzo project? Because
Yes.
I feel like,
oh my God.
I feel like a lot of people, like your fans, probably don't know how much of a superstar songwriter you are outside of the band.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of insane.
And producing, because you guys are also producing those records too, right?
Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Well,
Very frustrating.
now they will.
But now they will. We met Lizzo like very early on in her career. I got someone who's working for my manager at the time sent me her music, and I had just also simultaneously it had popped up on my Spotify algorithm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who the fuck is this? This shit is incredible.
Yeah.
And I get this email at the same time being like, would you ever want to work with Lizzo as one of Ricky Reed's artists? And I was like, I just was listening to that song Water Me.
Yeah.
Oh, so fucking good. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. I had also just been working with the guys from Monsters and Strangers. Do you know that writing outfit? They're like, it's.
I think so. It sounds really familiar.
They wrote "In Your Arms," the Millennium song.
Oh, nice.
And I had been working with a bunch of those dudes on just other shit, and I was with them, and I was like, these guys are like a band. Like everyone kind of like has their little niche and like their strengths, and they all work together on stuff, and all kind of play instruments, and I have a band. We kind of have our own little thing. Like, why aren't we doing this? We produce a lot of our own stuff, so why aren't we doing this for other artists?
Yeah.
So Lizzo was the first person I was like, why don't we get her in with the whole band?
Cool.
And so we all got together in studio, and the first day we wrote Jerome.
Yeah.
And the second day we wrote a song called Heaven Help Me. And at the end of that day, we had been working on that song all day, and she was like, we were just in the rec room just eating lunch, and she was like telling me about this the guys she was dating at the time. They were like in the car, and she was like crying, and And he was like, why are you crying? She was like, I'm crying because I love you. And I was like, oh, that's a song. And she was, and I was like, you could do something like Aretha Franklin shit, like, I'm crying because I love you. And she was like, let's write that, please.
No way.
And so like, you know, the 11th hour, we wrote that, and that became the title track of her record.
I have a songwriting question
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
So when you're writing with an artist like Lizzo, who comes from a very different walk of life, different perspective, different way of speaking, how do you help write that? Like, can you steer the ship? Are you offering ideas in your own words and saying, now you make it yours? Or are you just pitching like, I think you should say it like this?
I mean, it's a combination. Also, it's funny because every time you go into a session, I've often gone into sessions being like, how the fuck am I gonna like be able to you know, at all, you know, relate to this person, and the type of music they make is so different from what I make, but you're always surprised at like how much you end up having in common. She was in rock bands, first of all, like back
and
in
now she's
Minneapolis.
pivoting back to that sound, which is pretty cool.
Listen, I am very happy to have been a part of working on this new record with her. And
You did?
Yeah, Still Bad, the single that just came out, I was a writer on that.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
But so like, would you, like, there's a lyric like, I don't want, like, what is it? Like, I don't want to be a hoe no more.
That was her.
That was her. Okay.
So
You're not throwing out lyrics like that.
No.
Okay.
No. Although I could at this point. At this
Right.
point, like she and I have such a great rapport that I could say some shit like that, and she'd be like, "That's funny as fuck." Okay, yeah, let's use that. But I mean, like my favorite thing is to kind of try and open a door for the artist, and I'll take a chance and be vulnerable, and throw an idea out there and be like, "What do you think of this? How do you relate to this?" Because like that was Jerome. I came in and I was like, I just had this name, and it was like my concept for it was very like Adele, like sad, because I'm such a sad boy. It was like Jerome, it's been so long, like lovers seeing each other again after many years, and she was like, that's cool. God, I wish I knew someone named Jerome. Oh, I do know someone named Jerome.
You're kidding.
And so then she wrote this song about an ex of her, and we took that, and she was like, Jerome, take your ass home. Yeah, and go back when you're grown. Come back when you're grown. And from there, then it was just like, then in verse world, she kind of just jumped right in. Once that door was kind of open.
Yeah.
In the hook, she was like, I'm going with this. And
so it sounds like she's an artist that's really hands-on with her writing.
she's so good.
Yeah.
She's so goddamn good, and really like very, very, very hands-on. Great lyricist.
Yeah.
Like just the shit like I would never think of. Yeah. It just kind of comes out of her.
She be
She's
writing.
fantastic. She be writing.
Lizzo be writing.
Lizzo be writing. Lizzo be writing.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
But yeah, so worked on a bunch of the new stuff too.
Sick. I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
Should we get into the big heavy hitting songs?
The big heavy hitting songs.
I mean, we have to talk about.
I mean, I was gonna ask you about Rihanna, but
no. Ask Rihanna. We're leading up to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like you wrote for Rihanna without Rihanna there,
yeah.
but like,
Have you met Rihanna?
No.
Is there a version of this song with you singing the vocal?
Yeah.
There's a demo.
It's out. No, it's out. It's a song called American Oxygen.
Yeah,
It's on.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Is it on Spotify?
Yeah.
We've never done this before, but I feel like I see it on
like it's
podcasts
time
all
to
the
play
time.
it.
American. Say it again.
American Oxygen. Yeah, that was that.
Oh
took
yeah, there's a Rihanna version, and then immediately below it, Ex Ambassadors.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Here it is.
Longest guitar intro. We loved a long guitar intro at the time.
Oh, beautiful.
American oxygen, every breath I breathe.
Sing.
Yeah.
Sing.
That song took a year to write. It was such a long process. It started off as just like, Alex sent me this crazy beat, and we were on tour. I came up with that first line, breathe out, breathe in, American oxygen, whoa. That's all I had. The rest of the chorus, I don't know. I forget what it was. I sent it back to him, and for a while it was like, he was like, I played it for Dre. Dre wants it for his next project. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest. Yeah. Let me try and finish writing the hook. So it took another 6 months of back and forth of trying to, and the way I worked with Alex was very, very hands-on. Like, I would send him a whole chorus and he'd be like, I like the melody of this third line. Everything else, change it. And be like, all right, okay, cool. Wow. I was so hungry. And it, I mean, that's kind of where I cut my teeth, learning to be a songwriter, just like doing shit over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So it took 6 months to get the chorus. By the end of that 6 months, he was like, I just played it for Ree and she loves it. And she had this concept. She had the idea of writing it about being an immigrant to the United States. And her and Alex workshopped a bunch of lyrics and stuff. And they were sending me ideas. And I went into the studio with Alex and another writer named Candace. And we just kind of workshopped the verses for another 6 months, and then finally it was done, and then I hear the version with her on it, and I'm like, I mean, this is every songwriter's. It's like Beyonce and Rihanna,
right?
Yeah,
those are the cuts that you are like, all right. And I had one. I was like, and everyone was telling me, man, they were like, this is gonna change your life. It's gonna change your life. I was like. Yes, I'm ready for my life to change. I am ready for it to change. Yeah. And she puts this music video out. It was the very beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it was political, and it was emotional. And I was like, I'm like crying watching this thing. I'm like, I can't believe I'm a part of something. And she plays it on SNL, and then the song comes out, and they put it out exclusively on Tidal, which was, I was like, okay, all right. Well, I mean, but. Rihanna.
Right.
And the song like wasn't a hit for her. So it was one of those things where like everyone is promising that this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And I mean, it still means so much.
Of course.
Means so much to me. And I know that it meant a lot to her too. And I think the song kicks ass. But it wasn't a big hit. And that's like, add that to the long list of things that happens to all of us in our careers where you're like, this is a sure thing. Like, there's no way.
It doesn't even exist, a sure thing.
No, of course not. But yeah, I love that song.
So when does your version kind of come into the equation?
Like immediately afterwards.
For the Spotify listeners?
For the Spotify listeners, you got to get those streams up. You know?
I just meant for the people who don't have Tidal.
No, right. Yeah. No. I think we were not allowed to release until well after.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Her version had crossed over to Spotify.
Oh, man.
And do you feel like it being exclusive to Tidal was a bit of the nail in the coffin, or
who knows? Who knows? Like, genuinely, who knows?
Our producer shaking his head.
Yeah, that's why.
That was the reason why.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. Who's to say? It's like, I think that there's so much, the frustrating thing that we all have to contend with in this business, and honestly in the entertainment industry in general, that so much of it is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And you work in an art form that is also unpredictable, you know, where you show up to work every day. I could show up to work every day for a year, sit down in front of my computer for 6 hours a day and try to write songs and not write anything good for a fucking year. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it goes. And then like day one of the next year, you like are in the car and something comes to you and you write it down and send it to somebody, and that becomes the biggest song of your career. You know, you just never know. And I think we all really, really, really want to have some sort of like, oh, it's because of this, and it's because of this, and it's because of this. But that shit just doesn't really exist.
There's no way to tell.
No, there's no way to tell.
You just said biggest songs of your career moments ago, and I think that's the perfect segue to like get into it.
That's really good. You're really good at this.
She's really good.
She's really good.
But what am I really good at?
You're fucking fantastic at everything. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I said she's really good moments ago. Do you know the reference?
She's like really good.
No, I don't know the reference.
Camp Rock.
I'm old, guys. I'm old.
Not old enough to say that.
I'm ancient. What's Camp Rock?
Whoa, really?
I don't know.
Oh, you're
I'm
that old.
I'm that old.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
That was Demi Lovato's Disney Channel debut.
Oh, see, I wasn't really a Disney kid.
With Joe Jonas.
I know. Do you want me to leave? Do you want me to go?
Were you like a? Were you
He
like
does.
Okay.
Can you tell?
I know. Yeah.
Were you like a cartoon? You were a Cartoon Network kid. Of course you were. I
was
get
a
that
Cartoon
energy
Network
from
kid.
you.
Yeah, you do.
You were like a cat dog kid.
That
Cat
was
dog
Nickelodeon.
kid?
That was Nickelodeon.
But you
yeah.
were that, weren't you?
I didn't really.
Hey
watch
Arnold
Nickelode-
vibes. No.
No.
I was like
Foster Son for Imaginary Kids. No, that was too old.
I was
That was
so
too young for
nerdy,
you.
guys. I was like
Yeah.
a comic book kid. I loved like X-Men and Spider-Man. My first email.
X-Men, X-Ambassadors.
I mean, there's got to be something there.
There has to be.
Gotta
Or
be
just
something
not
there.
at all.
You know what's
Or
not
just
there
not at all.
though? The hyphen.
Yeah. It's
Was that
not there.
debated?
You know what else is not there? A "the" in front of X-Ambassadors, which both of my parents will never not say, "How are the X-Ambassadors doing?" And every time they say it, it makes me die a little inside.
Yeah.
And I'm too. I'm just like I love them too much. I can't ever correct them.
That's so weird. People, they put like the in front of my name too, like the Anthony Gargiula.
Oh no, I think it's like the worst.
No, okay.
No, the gift.
Let's do it.
The gift.
All right, I think it's only appropriate that we talk about the song that we sang together
Yes,
here,
yes.
which is Unsteady. I need to know the origin of this song, how it started, everything you
So-
could gab about.
So the song started. We were working on our second EP. I was still in Brooklyn. I think at the time I couldn't afford to pay rent in my apartment and be on tour full time. So I was renting my room out to my brother, who was then commuting. He was living in Ithaca and commuting up to New York. So we were kind of sharing. I forget what the situation was, but I was not living at home. I was staying at my then girlfriend, now wife's apartment across the street. And I was in I had to go back home to across the street to my old apartment to grab something. And I had some time to kill, and I figured I'd write something. And I sat down. I knew someone from Interscope had hit me up and was like, Zed is looking for songs. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll try to write some sort of dance thing.
Yeah.
And I had those chords, and I pretty instantly was like, came up with that hook, and pretty instantly was like, sorry, Zed, I'm not giving this to anybody. I'm keeping this. And then I sent it to Alex, as I kind of was doing everything at the time, and seeing what he thought, and he was like, "This is cool. You have verses yet?" And I kind of had a vague idea, and he was like, "Have you ever written about your family? What's your relationship like with your family?" I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. He's like, "What about your parents?" Like, well, I mean, I don't know. I love my parents are divorced. I love them. And he was like, "You should write about that." It's like, no. I'm not going to write a song about my parents' divorce. I'm a 25-year-old grown man.
Right. A full frontal lobe.
Come on. No one would care. Who cares? And he was like, just try it. And so I wrote the song. And it's turned into one of our biggest songs. And it was like, now my parents both love it. It was like one of those moments where it was a huge teaching moment for me, because it was something that I was very uncomfortable talking about, feeling about, because again, it was like, I felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed about it. I was like, no one needs to know that this is like a thing that affected me. Like it happens to everybody, right? Like, who am I to be griping and moaning about my parents splitting up when I was 15? But it really did have an impact on me. And I think it has an impact on a lot of people whose parents are divorced.
Absolutely.
And that show of vulnerability, the song kind of spoke for itself, and the success of it is spoken for itself. And now it's a rule that I have whenever I am thinking about a song, or I'm in a session with somebody, and this topic of conversation comes up, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch that. I know that I kind of have to.
do it.
You got to go do it every time. Like every time. And every time you do it, whether the song does well or not, it doesn't really matter, because what it does for you as the artist is monumental, to be able to like carve out those pieces of yourself that you are afraid to say out loud, and you say it out loud, and like guarantee there's somebody out there who's like, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I felt that way too, and I've been too afraid to say it. Like the shit is, it's everything. It's everything. So that's the story of how that song kind of came to
So
be.
cool. And didn't you tell us last time when you were here, if I'm recalling correctly, that like a lot of people take the lyrics to that song and they kind of make it mean different things for
Totally.
them?
Yeah. People, I mean, it's a song about divorce, but people are like, I got married. This is the first dance of my wedding. And I'm like, sick.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, you're doomed.
No, but I think that's kind of the beauty of it. What did you get? You guys thought like the mother and father were these like metaphorical.
That's what he thought.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
I did not think it was directly about divorce.
No.
I thought it was a study of like, not literally
Mother
Mother
Earth.
Earth, but like the idea of
Yeah.
like because there's you wrote it in the verse, like the melody of it has this kind of like wailing that you kind of do when like you hear like videos of like a kid gets injured and they call for their
Right.
mom. Like it's
Yeah.
like mom. It's like this like
Yeah.
so primal thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I could feel it triggering that in me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what specifically.
Yeah.
And then when you
Yeah.
said it was about divorce, I was like, oh,
Totally.
kind of duh.
Yeah.
Now that you say it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but I mean that's the beauty of a song, right? Just like you kind of make it your own, and I think also the power of writing specifically, the power of specificity in a song is I mean that is an example of that, where something can be so universal when you make it very much about your own life. And aren't afraid to do that.
Yeah.
And don't try to go out of your way to like make it universal.
I feel like with songs like that, where it can have a really big feeling song, we'll say, you can sometimes get
There's a lot of big feelings.
Yeah.
A lot of big feelings.
and I can only imagine that fans have a interesting way of, and they meaning well, maybe trauma dump a little bit on artists when you meet them about a specific song. Does that song stir up that kind of behavior?
You know what's funny? I think I'm getting more and more sensitive to it. Like I'll be in meet and greets and just like weeping. I think the older I get, I'm just such a crybaby. I was always a crybaby, but like, and now it's even worse. I'm just way more sensitive to it. I think maybe it's just because I've lived a little bit more life, but like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful and it's heavy and you kind of got to hold both.
Yeah.
You got to hold both at the same time. And I think early on it was also it was hard not to feel like numb to it in a way and then feel bad about feeling numb to it, just because instantly the song, when you put a song out into the world, when you put a piece of art out into the world, I truly believe this, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. Maybe you created it, but it is no longer yours. And so to that point, when you're playing when we're playing some of these songs live, sometimes it even feels like we're doing like a cover of somebody else's song in a weird way.
Yeah.
And so to have someone come up to you and say like, your song saved my life. It's like, it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine. But that's a hard thing. It's hard to like take ownership of that. And really all you can do is be gracious and like say, I'm so glad that you're here, or I'm so glad that this song was there for you when you needed it. And I don't know, but it's tough. It's a tough thing to navigate. And I can't imagine, on a bigger scale, like what that must feel like to get that all the time, every day. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Was there anyone notable when you put out the song that either had a story like that or just reached out to say like, this song is incredible?
I can't really think.
Okay. So not Rihanna that time.
Not Rihanna
She
that
didn't
time.
text you about it? Okay.
Nope.
You said
I know.
that they're all
Bummer.
notable too.
They're all notable.
I mean,
Right.
and the song is out here living on. Okay,
Like crazy.
please.
You know, and it's you guys said it earlier that it's like in the TikTok songbook.
That's what we call it. We call it the TikTok songbook, and it's
love
in
it.
there.
Yeah,
And
it's in
I don't
there.
know if there was a really popular version going around from a TV show called I Can See Your
So
Voice.
stupid.
Yes, I
where
have
there was a
heard-
guy
I have
singing
heard
it.
about this.
But it was a huge
Talented young man.
Yes, in all seriousness,
Very talented
It
young
went.
man.
It was a really, really big clip that Anthony did sing on the show.
Yeah.
I listen.
And
I am
did such a goddamn beautiful job.
And I think it
Thank
did kind
you
of
so
reignite the
much.
flame on TikTok. I really do think so. I think people started
Yeah.
covering it again as a result of it.
I can't take credit. But
Take credit.
I can't
Take credit.
I can't. But you know, it's so funny when doing that show. It's like when you do shows like that, like they kind of give you the songs that they want you to sing at least, or they'll hint at it, right? And they were like, "All right, here's what we got for you. It is this one by Charlie Puth and this one by Shawn Mendes. Have fun." And I was like, "Hey, so." Have you ever heard me sing before?
Yeah.
And I was like, I know I might kind of like look like that would be my style, but it's like that's not really my thing. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to just actually make people cry.
You need a
really hard.
powerhouse vocalist.
I know. I need
Someone with
I need to cover somebody with,
oodles of soul.
and just
Yeah.
talent.
Some might
Pure
say the male
talent.
Adele. I've heard.
Some might say, I'm not saying it.
Right.
Some might say.
Some might.
Wow, that was a little.
So then they sent me like a short list, and I saw Unsteady was on there, and I was like, oh, I love that song. And then the producer was like, yo, I know the guys from Ex Ambassadors. So
Wait, who was the producer?
oh my gosh, his name's Logan. Do you know Logan?
Yes, I do know
Well,
Logan.
gonna-
Love
okay.
Logan.
Logan, my man,
Yep.
Logan.
He was like, well, guess what? He's like, I know the guys from Ex Ambassadors, so when you perform on the show, I'm going to send it to them. And then I am now finding out that you have never seen this clip until
Logan,
just
you
now.
never sent it to me,
Or
bro.
you didn't open your DMs.
Or I didn't know.
Your DM's from Logan.
That is probably more likely.
Oh, that's amazing. Is it time we get into the game? Is it game time?
I mean, we didn't. I mean, there is Renegade, the other massive.
Not Renegade. Just
Renegade.
one.
Renegade.
The dance.
Renegade.
The dance. Has there been any confusion?
God, I wish that would have been so amazing for our career.
Living like
And,
we're red.
our place in the zeitgeist, you know, would have been
No.
zeitgeist.
Did you?
Did I say zeitgeist? Is that a ding ding ding?
Jonathan has said Zeitgeist every episode, and now we make fun of him, and you just.
Oh,
Simpatico.
Thank you.
That's what I said. Great
they were like-
minds,
they were
great
like,
minds dress alike. They
"Thank you.
speak alike.
Thank you.
So, with all the success of the Renegade on
Yeah.
TikTok, you're telling me there's been no confusion?
No confusion.
With Ex Ambassadors Renegades?
I really again.
Wait, I thought
really
Charlie
wish-
D'Amelio for sure danced to your version.
No, that would have been so amazing. That would have been fantastic.
Honestly, I am sure it helped you get some streams, and people clicked on for about 5
Totally.
seconds. They said, "Wait, this can't be it."
The only thing on TikTok that I've seen of Renegades was someone did the thing where you just have the eyes and the mouth cut out, and it's like I say hey, and it's like hey.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. We
Yeah.
did it. We did it.
So
Jumped on the trend.
We did it.
I think
Jumped on the trend.
technically, streaming wise, and maybe also on the charts, Renegades by Ex Ambassadors is the bigger hit, and yet Unsteady I
Yeah.
feel like is the one that everyone is like, I know that one.
Yeah.
What is your feeling? Which one feels like the bigger at shows? Like which one do you close with?
We closed with Unsteady. We closed with Unsteady. I'll tell you, Renegades. I fucking hated that song. I hated it so much when we first wrote it.
I kind of knew you were going to say that
hated it.
because when you mentioned earlier that your style was so different than
Then Lumineers, Mumford and Sons, and then that's
I was like, hold on.
Yeah, I hated it. But you know, look, again, it was another one of those things where like we were writing the song, we were writing songs for the record. We had put Unsteady out. Unsteady was on an EP that had been essentially the label was like, we don't hear any hits on this. We're not going to go to radio with anything on this, including Unsteady. And so we were like, okay, shit. Back to square one, potentially in danger of maybe being dropped. anyway, so we're put 2 EPs out. We're like working on a record that's like not going to come out unless we have a big driver around it, like a big song that's going already. So I'm just scrambling to write whatever I can, and we're playing shows, and Alex and I would do this thing where we'd text back and forth. Like I would send him ideas. Sometimes he'd send me titles. And I love a title. I love sinking my teeth into a word, a title, a phrase. So fun. So he's like, why don't you try to write something with the word renegade in it, or renegades? It could be a title. It can be just like a part of the song. I was like, okay, bet I'll start going. And so I started writing all these different versions of a hook with the word in it, and beating my head against the wall. And we land on one where it's like more of a folky kind of acoustic vibe. And I was at, I forget where I was when I wrote the hook, but I know where I was when I finished it. I send it to him, and he's like, this is cool. I'm also working with Jeep right now. I think there might be like a commercial campaign that the song could be good for. And I was like, okay, great. Awesome.
Oh, the Renegade. Yeah.
So I'm at, I didn't know that at the time. I'm at my
is that a car?
fiance's. Yeah. I'm at my fiance's house in Northampton, Western Massachusetts. In her childhood bedroom. I'm like there with my microphone, my laptop, writing verses to the song, and I'm trying to like find my way in. I kind of end up landing on this theme where I'm like, all right, we're a band that feels we've always felt a little bit like outsiders. We never really felt like a part of a scene or anything. And I think also the fact that my brother is blind has made it so that our band operates as a very tight knit troupe, if you will. And it also kind of just infuses us with this thing that just makes us different.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to write about that. Meanwhile, I get curious, and I'm like, he said it's going to be a part of some, or no, first I send the song to Alex, and he's like, this is all right, sick, great. I'm going to send it to the Jeep people and see what they think. I go on the Jeep website. I'm like, I wonder what like car they're trying to shop right now. And lo and behold, there's a Jeep Renegade. So, I kind of got tricked into writing a jingle. But, at the same time, this is the thing that like cracked everything open for us. So it took me like a day of being like, God damn it. Like, I'm a sellout.
Right.
I'm a fucking sellout. This is so not rock and roll. And then
That is very not rock and roll.
It's very not rock and roll. Yeah. We're in the commercial. Huge commercial campaign.
Yeah.
We're in it. The song is in it. The song starts going at alternative radio, crosses over to top 40. This is the thing that breaks us into the mainstream. This is like what allows us to put our record out, that allows Unsteady to come out on it.
Yeah.
It's given us our foot in the door. I have no regrets about writing a jingle.
You shouldn't.
Not like none.
You better write your jingle.
Fucking none. Yeah.
That's great.
And it was a nice little check. Other people made a lot more money than we did, but nice little check.
Probably Jeep.
Yeah,
Need more
mostly
money.
Jeep.
I
Mostly
think
Jeep.
so.
Have you written jingles since?
No, I have not.
Just the one.
Just the one.
mean,
Actually, well, hold on. I was in a KitchenAid commercial that my buddy directed.
Let's go.
And he was like, okay, we have this concept. I want you to be singing this R&B song about a dishwasher that you're in love with, and the lyrics are all pulled from an actual review of the dishwasher. And then I made up melodies to it, and we did a whole production around it. And it's like the silliest thing I've ever done. And I had so much fun.
Hey, do you want to play a game?
Yes,
Yeah,
I would love
that's
to play a
amazing.
game.
Right.
This game is very appropriately titled, What's the Renegade?
Oh!
I know.
Oh, God.
We're
You
all about
guys.
puns.
No, this is great.
So basically what we're going to do in this game is we're going to go through, I mean, you talked about touring for years and years and years, and like, you know, performing life, like, you know it. So we're going to go through a list of difficult situations that you can go through as a performer, and then you got to give us the grade, A+ being like, I can make it through, like, that is fine, and
Got
then
it.
F being like, no, I can't do that.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Beautiful. We're going to kick it off with, oh gosh. What would you grade doing a show with no sound check?
6 C plus.
Okay.
C plus.
Not too terrible.
Not too terrible. Not my favorite thing in the world.
All right. Oh gosh. Okay. What I would say, let's see. I did a show 2 days ago, and if the sound check didn't happen, I don't think I could have done the show.
Okay,
I'm
so-
gonna go like full D.
That's a okay.
Yeah.
Not an F, but a D.
No, because like,
Yeah.
come on, I'll
Yeah,
pull
come
through.
on, we're all
Like,
professionals here.
yeah. What about you?
Well, I have a pretty significant hearing loss in one ear, so that would, if it's in ears, I'd be an absolute mess.
Yeah.
If it's monitors, I'll go with monitors for the sake of conversation. We did the JP thing, wasn't horrible. I might also give it like a C plus.
Okay, yeah.
Not horrible, not horrible.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but we all have the voices of angels. So,
Wow.
you know.
Okay, next one.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes.
Oh, performing where, sorry, we're leading the witness. Performing where one of the guitar strings is clearly untuned.
Oh, I have dealt with this so much lately. I would give that a okay, like the grading system, just pause.
Yeah.
Grading system is, could I not do the show?
So it's like A is like you could pull through. F is like I literally would stop the show.
Oh, I've stopped the show. F.
F. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop the fucking show. This has happened to me so much lately, and it's because we're switching like road crew. Finally, like we've landed in a great place, but this happened to me two times at the beginning. So we open our set with Renegades, and I had been given a guitar that was just. I started. It's like a long like Renegade. Ding, 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 as I'm like holding the note, and so I'm like Renegade. Bum, bum, ding, ding, ding. It's just a complete fucking miss. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
hang on. Give the guitar little banter,
Shoot.
and then get the guitar back. Play it again, still completely out of fucking tune. And I was like, just give me the electric. I knew the electric was in tune, so
Yeah.
I did the whole song with the electric guitar. I was
Oh.
I would live it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a very forgiving person.
But not on this.
Not on this.
Not on this.
I thought you were
No,
gonna say
no,
you
no.
were on stage like bam, bam, bam.
No.
like tuning
I'm
it
not
in
even
front
gonna
of
bother.
everybody.
It was so
Yeah.
insanely out of tune.
Oh,
There was nothing I could.
no.
It would have taken me straight up like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So that's a hard fail.
Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah.
also hard F for myself.
Yeah.
I would actually stop the show, and I would make them tune it on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's your fault. So
I'm
Right.
I'm not adept enough in tuning a guitar at the last minute on stage.
Yeah. I would also give it an F because as soon as I feel like I'm not locked in tune-wise, I will get so clammy, sweaty, and I'll shut down. I'll shut down.
So funny.
So I'd have to.
I
yeah.
do this, like, I've seen this happen before too, when I'm like not sure about a guitar part.
Yeah.
I'll be singing, I'll be up here and singing, and then the second I like have to look at my guitar, I'm like, my body language is I'm chest
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
like posture
Rockstar.
up, and then I'm like, everything just like shrinks, and I'm like a little boy, like trying to figure out my guitar part.
Fun.
Okay, this one is, I guess, in the same spirit of our first one.
I
But
love this game.
Great.
I love this game.
You like
You're
having
talking-
hot
You're talking to a
opinions.
road dog right now. This road dog loves this game.
all right, so what about like your in-ears not working, your pack dying?
I give that a C. C. That's a C.
All right, you try and do
Yeah.
something about it.
No, wait, hold on. Let me backtrack, because doing a show with no sound check, I'd give that a B.
Okay,
Give that a B. This I'd give a C.
Hurt.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hear you.
This I'd give a C.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the venue for me.
Yeah.
because like if it's like small enough and that's
You can
fine.
get by.
You can hear, you
can
can
make
pull
it.
'em out.
But if you're at an arena and you're trying to sing with no ears, even trying to sing with ears at
Yeah.
an arena is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
No, like
Yeah.
I don't know. So it kind of depends, but I'll go with you on C.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I pull
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
I think I might have to abstain from answering because I've only performed in venues where I didn't need them, or
Yeah.
you rip it out, you can easily hear yourself.
Yeah.
I don't have an experience with an arena or really, a whole
It's
lot of.
really hard if you're in like a bigger space. And also it depends on how you tour. Some people have monitors on stage
Right.
and ears.
Right.
And then sometimes you're like you don't even have amps, like
crazy.
so you're doing everything like in
Yeah.
the box, and the only noise coming from the stage is like the drums.
Yeah.
You know? So like then you're really fucked.
I definitely was like, I always thought that like I would want to do the one in, one out kind of in-ear thing forever.
Yeah.
And then like anytime I've ever sung at an arena, like whether it was like if I was like doing national anthem or like I just like did a couple of shows like this last year, like, and you have to have both in.
Yeah.
Because if you have one out, like there's such a like slap back that it's like seconds.
I'll
of
tell you what
difference.
I'll tell you what I do. We don't have to go on such a tangent here, but I like to take an ear out when I'm talking to the crowd.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
I found that like when I have my ears in and I'm trying to like banter with people, I like do the thing where I'm like, "What's up, everybody? Like, how you doing? How's everyone doing out there tonight? You feeling good?" And like I don't have to. I'm on a microphone that's being amplified very loudly, so I can just like take one ear and I'm like, "Hey, everybody." Hi.
Right.
You know?
And your whole voice changes
and
too.
Your whole voice changes, your demeanor changes, it becomes much more intimate.
You're not going to blow your voice out with all that.
And then I'm not posturing too. I'm not like peacocking around the stage as much. I can do that when I'm performing, but like banter, you gotta be grounded. Come on. You gotta be a human being.
Right. Humility. Yeah, right.
We got a couple more.
Okay, we've got crowds, only iPhones in your face.
Whatever. I'll get that. No, you know what? I'll give that a A-.
Okay, beautiful.
Because what that tells me is that they're really loving whatever I'm doing on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm A- because I'm like, come on. I'm a little judgy. I'm like, guys, come on.
Right.
Come on, be here.
Right.
Be here now. Be present. But whatever. I get it.
For me, like, that's an A+, baby.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
know,
right,
you
right.
know? Only because I'm like, oh, you really care about this. Like, you care about this
Exactly.
song. Like, you're in this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if the votes come out, like, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at least feeling so early in my career with live stuff that I'm like, it's cool. Like we did a
so
show,
cool.
and when they brought us out, like everyone afterwards was like, everyone's phone went out when you guys came on stage, and I was like, that's
good.
really cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's very, very cool.
They're like, this is going to be memorable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think I'm curmudgeonly enough to give that like less than an A something.
That's fair.
But little slight judginess of like keep it out for the first verse and chorus.
And then live.
And then live your
And that's
life.
what I like to do. I like to do like one chorus, phone away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my.
You know what I love? This is what I love. This is what I give an A+.
Okay, do it.
The dad in the crowd who's like filming horizontally the whole show
On an iPad?
Yes.
And you're hoping it makes it to YouTube.
I give that an A++. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. And he's like, afterwards, he's like, I'm not really a fan of the band, but you know, my daughter really loves you guys. I'm like, oh, and you decided to film the whole show.
Right. And also tell me.
Great. Yeah.
Does he then offer you a copy of his recording?
No, but he'll tell me about it.
Because it will be on YouTube.
You
full
will.
length.
Right.
Okay, so this same character, you know what just happened to me
This
recently?
guy?
I flew back to Ithaca, I told you, and on the plane, this guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, just had to say something to you. I think my son went to high school with you. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I kind of remembered who he was, and then he was like, I was also at your show last time we played Ithaca. And I was like, oh, cool. He's like, you got to turn the bass down. I mean, maybe it's just a generational thing, you know. And I was like, all right, dog. I will keep that in mind.
I am the front of house
that in
engineer.
mind.
Thank you.
And
I love it.
The good news is now for the rest of time, you are going to turn the bass down.
Oh,
because, yeah.
No, I mean, that really changed everything for me, that moment.
We have one more. One more
great.
scenario
Okay,
for you. Did we answer that one? We answered that
Yes.
one. Yeah. One final one.
Wait,
is-
I'm going to put a spin on this last question. I want us to, what do we think he's going to say for this last one?
Oh, I think he's going to live for
I think he's going to say A+.
particularly.
Yeah.
I think he's
Okay,
going to
let's find out. All right.
We're going to say doing a show in the pouring rain.
At an outdoor venue.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't rain inside.
Well,
I'd give it a B+.
okay.
I'd give it a B+.
All right.
Depends on the situation. We did the first time we headlined Red Rocks was pouring rain
That's
and,
kinda sick.
and freezing cold.
I mean, that's horrible.
Yeah. Horrible. Horrible. Also, as like a vocalist, you're like, I was freaking out. And at elevation.
It's harder to breathe, get a deep breath.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot. The
You said
elements-
elevation. I was like, the church? Sorry.
Yeah.
So
no,
okay, but what
not
about
the
like
church.
the summer Lollapalooza? It's raining.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's okay.
I'll elevate that. And you're at Lollapalooza. It's a festival. Everyone's having fun.
Right. They're too drunk to care
Yeah,
what's going on
they're too drunk to care.
anyway.
You're kind of too drunk to care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd give that a A- as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So it's not the rain isn't the enemy. It's all the circumstances together.
Wow. My only A+ was the guy, the
just
question that I made up.
The one that you made up yourself.
Well,
Also, I
It says something about me. though.
love
Yeah.
performing in the rain. I think
You
it's
do?
so fun.
Yeah.
I think it is so fun.
Do you
'cause-
drop to your knees?
Well, I did a contract in Orlando at Universal, and I would sing outside every day.
Yeah. Oh
and,
my God. Yeah.
And it's in Orlando, so it was raining a lot, and like we would have to.
And like torrential
Yeah, and so sometimes
flash flood,
sometimes we'd have to like cut the show, like if it was raining too hard. But
thunder and lightning.
it was actually really exciting when it would rain for me because I was like, I love feeling something, you know.
thanks for coming in.
It's very that. It's very that. How do you feel about singing in the rain? Not the show.
Oh, thank you.
I
for
also
clarifying.
love singing in the rain.
It's great. Movie masterpiece.
Movie masterpiece.
I've never done it. Yeah. Let the rain fall down.
We're gonna revisit this when you sing in the rain.
Thank you. Well, next time you're on tour, if you want some backup singers in the rain specifically,
I
hit us up.
will add that to production.
Great.
I'll make sure that we have a rain machine on
Great.
stage.
Thank you. I appreciate
All I
it.
could ever
Specifically for
want.
you.
I appreciate that.
Hey, real quick before we go, can you tell us about your rubber band?
Oh, my rubber band. Okay, so for anybody like me who struggles with, I don't even know what the term is for it, but my therapist told me about this. I do this thing where I gave this example earlier, and I'll do the same thing. Like,
Okay.
I get my coffee or like the barista gets my coffee order wrong, and I'm bummed out about it. I'm like, man, I got my coffee order wrong. I take it further than being sad about that. I take it to, it's because I didn't speak up. It's because I didn't say my name loud enough. And it's because I'm not confident enough. It's because, and this is like a thing. This is a thing that is inherently
You're like beating yourself up.
that is wrong with me. And I go spiral and spiral
yeah.
and spiral. And the rubber band, it's this oldest psychological trick in the book, oldest therapy trick in the book. You say, I am really bummed about this thing. And you snap the rubber band, and that's where it stops. It just stops there. You can hold that feeling. You can be sad about it. You can be frustrated. That's cool.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
it doesn't need to go any further than that.
Slap on the wrist.
A little slap on the wrist. A little rubber band snap on the wrist.
So will you be doing that like on the drive back home today? You're like, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Was it that one joke about both sides?
Yeah, it was.
Guys,
It
give it
definitely
up
was.
for.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
Yes, do it.
Tell us where the kids can find you online.
Kids can find us online. X Ambassadors is our handle for pretty much everything. For TikTok, for Instagram, for X, which I'm never on X, guys.
No one
and
is.
Also on Facebook, but I'm never really on Facebook.
Right.
No one is.
Right.
And the website is
Okay.
just www.xambassadors.com.
Let's go.
There you go.
You have a re-release of VHS coming out, 10 years.
Yes, the 10-year, we have a re-release, a re-record of the record that I guess I'm announcing it here with you guys.
Oh, really? Is that okay?
You don't have to. Okay, great.
Y'all?
Exclusive Counter-Melodies exclusive.
There you go.
There you go.
Re-record, baby.
A re-record of the record, and we're going to do some fun stuff around that.
Okay. A tour in
And
tandem?
yes, not announced yet, but we'll be
Great.
announcing soon some fun stuff.
Well, we just
around
leaked
that.
everything. So
Sorry.
Great. No, whatever. Great.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Counter-Melodies.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a moment from us.
See you soon.